Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Saturday Morning Blast. Welcome, everybody. We didn't have Saturday Morning Blast off last week because I was out looking for an apartment up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and which I did find, by the way. So, yes, that's why I wasn't here last weekend, but I'm back. So, here we go. Let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button there. Also, if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, you get the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. Also, all the links to my social media are there. Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tier set up on the Patreon because I'm waiting till I hit 1,000 subscribers. That way, when you guys give me money, I'll give you something in return. Excuse me. It's always the morning voice stuff. Also, I have the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. And good morning, everybody. All right. Let's get to it, shall we? So, His Dark Materials has been renewed for a third and final season at HBO Max. I guess they are just not liking the numbers, and probably with good reason. I know a lot of people have just dropped off this series completely after the first season, or even midway through the first season, just because that first season was just a drag. It was boring. It had no teeth to it. Yes, they put Yorick in there, the big polar bear, but it was boring. It was fucking boring. The second season is better, but it took a couple episodes in order to actually take off. And I can see why it's getting a third and final season just to wrap things up. And they're like, yep, okay, whatever. And I'm fairly sure that HBO Max would have just canceled it after this season if the BBC wasn't involved in financing it as well. So yeah, that would have been it for it. So everyone watched The Mandalorian, right? Yeah. You guys, the season 2. Yeah. At the very end of season 2, the final episode there at the end credits, there is a little teaser of the Book of Boba Fett coming out in December of 2021. So there's been a lot of speculation as to, hey, is this actually going to be the third season of The Mandalorian? Is it going to be about Boba Fett now? At this point, no, it's not. The third season of The Mandalorian is separate, excuse me, from the Book of Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett is its own series and is actually filming first, and I think is going to air first before The Mandalorian does. So same production crew. The only thing is, I believe they're adding Robert Rodriguez to the Book of Boba Fett, and he is going to be the showrunner for that one. Because Dave Filoni, of course, is going to be running the Ahsoka series and writing that one. And I believe he's also going to be doing the Rangers one, the New Republic Rangers or something like that. So he's going to be running those two, and also the Bad Batch, which he has going on. And of course, Jon Favreau is working on The Mandalorian. And I believe he's also working on Boba Fett as well. So yeah, lots and lots of Star Wars we've got coming our way next year. Lots of Star Wars. And I'm okay with it, everyone's kind of disappointed that it came back to Skywalker again in season 2 of The Mandalorian at the very end there, but come on, it always is going to tie back to that at some point. I was disappointed with it a little bit too that it went back to that, but it was only for a brief moment, and it was needed, quite honestly. Stanley said if it had been a part of Mandalorian, they could have continued with the Book of Bo-Katan Kryze after that. Yeah, true. Yeah. I like the Bad Batch as well in Clone. That's why they're doing their own standalone series, Cheryl. And I am all for it. And of course, we already know that Fennec Shand is going to be back in the Bad Batch. We're going to get to see her early career as a bounty hunter coming up and all that kind of stuff. And it is voiced by Ming-Na Wen. So yes, that is going to be pretty cool. Excuse me. Like I said, morning voice. It always happens. Patti Jenkins says that she might not direct Wonder Woman 3 if it's not getting a theatrical release, which I don't understand. Wonder Woman 1984 is getting a theatrical release, but it's also being released on HBO Max at the same time. And what do I say to this? With her saying that she's not going to direct Wonder Woman 3, I honestly think that'd be for the better, to tell you the truth. And after having seen Wonder Woman 1984, which I'll get to tomorrow, by the way. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, the review of Wonder Woman 1984. But yeah, I think it could, Wonder Woman could benefit from a stronger director. There, I've said it. And yeah, I would honestly love Deborah Chow to step in and do this. Deborah Chow is a kick-ass director, and yeah, I would much rather have her doing this. And also, she pays attention to story details and things like that. Again, I'm not going to go into it because I'm going to save it for tomorrow. But I was thinking about it, and I honestly, if Patty Jenkins leaves, that's really no big deal. Yeah. And I think this is just her way of saying that her foot is already out the door at Warner Brothers anyway, because she's going to do the Rogue Squadrons movie over at Disney. So it's not like, she's tied to Warner Brothers at this point in time. We don't have that thing where studios, I mean, sure, you do have studio contracts and stuff like that where actors and actresses say they're going to sign on for a couple of movie contracts or whatever, but not to the way they used to be back in the 30s and the 40s, where you had a star or a director was tied specifically to a certain studio. That was it. They didn't work for anybody else other than that studio. That's not the case anymore. So, yeah. uh, Stanley says, "Okay, it seems like you're nonplussed with Wonder Woman 1984." I can neither confirm nor deny. So, we'll move on to the next topic. Uh, in March 2021, that's pretty much the month they've given us. Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League gets released as a mini series. Mini series, that's right, on HBO Max. So we've gone from a recut of a movie to a fucking mini series now at this point. And quite honestly, this is all a problem that Warner Brothers brought upon itself when they bowed to the fans and gave in to giving Zack Snyder, giving him another $20 million in order to redo the movie. That was their own fault right there. 8 30-minute episodes. I don't know, Stanley. It could be. I'm guessing it's going to be longer than that. I'm really, really not interested in a mini series of this. I'd rather just be a 2-hour, 2.5 hour long movie and be done with it, because I know it's gonna suck. He keeps showing that fucking really bad claymation dark side that he keeps having in the front of the trailer, and it looks like shit. I'm sorry, it just does. It looks like shit. It's one of the things that kind of just brings me out of it completely. It's when, as soon as that trailer opens up and you see the claymation dark side with the hammer or whatever he's got going on in his hand, I start laughing. I start giggling. And then it goes into all this other stuff. And then, of course, the Hallelujah song that goes over all of it too just really brings me out of it and does not make me want to see it. Yeah. 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 Not a fan of And the thing is, Zack Snyder's work, some of his work is okay. I liked what he did with 300, quite honestly. Again, that's almost 15 years ago now. I did not like his take of Dawn of the Dead. Um, you know, so I don't like speedy zombies like that. It just, yeah. And there's other stuff that he's done too that I'm not, yeah. Stanley Tweedle says, I haven't seen the theatrical version. I'm not interested. Oh, you haven't seen the Joss Whedon version of it. Okay. And you're not interested in the Snyder cut. Don't bother with it, Stanley. I'm going to cover it at some point. Oh, God. Yeah. Sucker Punch. So, luckily, the story of Sucker Punch is I went and saw that at a sneak preview and I still wanted my money back afterwards. So, I saw it for free. I think they even gave me a bag for it or something like that, like one of those drawstring bags or whatever. And I'm surprised that I had so much restraint not to kill myself by wrapping it around my head and cinching it tight during the movie. Because good God, that movie sucked balls. I mean, Sucker Punch was a sucker punch. It really was. It was one of the shittiest movies I've seen, I have to admit. And yes, that is a Zack Snyder creation. That is what you do when you leave him to his own devices and he doesn't have anybody else's story to glom off of. He does shit like that. Sucker Punch. And man, that was bad. Apple Crow says, I saw Sucker Punch with my best friend and his 14-year-old sister. I told her that movie was exactly what it was like in the mind of all boys her age. Pretty much. Yeah. Only a lot more pornier in the 14-year-old boy's mind. I was actually kind of surprised there wasn't more nudity in it because, yeah, that's pretty much what he was getting at. So on to happier subjects. Hellstrom has been canceled after one season at Hulu. Who could have seen that one coming? Oh, man. So yes, that is the final Jeff Loeb series done and gone. We will not have to deal with Jeff Loeb's Marvel series ever again. Thank Cthulhu the Maker, whatever we got going on, because good God, that fucking show sucked. I watched the entire thing and I'm really surprised I watched the entire thing. It was a bad series. I mean, just a horribly bad series. It was even worse than Agents of Shield's seasons 5 through 7. Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't as bad as Inhumans though, but it was still pretty bad. And it deserved to not, to go into cancellation hell. Stanley Tweedle says it was about deconstructing the male gaze. Stanley Tweedle also says, so this was the last Fox Marvel stuff. Yeah, I guess you could say, well, it was the last Jeff Loeb Marvel stuff. So he worked with Fox on some stuff, but he was trying to work with Disney on stuff. And Fahey was like, nope, not going to do it. You worked with Ike Perlmutter. You still have, and Ike Perlmutter was the one that kind of put Jeff Loeb in that location at Marvel Studios. No, Marvel TV, I think is what it was. So Marvel TV, I think, is dead now, and it's just Marvel Studios. Anything going with Marvel TV now is Marvel Studios. And that was the last one that needed to die. And it did. No, I don't think anything can actually be as bad as the Inhumans. You're right, Penn. The Inhumans is the low bar of Marvel TV. It really is. Yeah. It was in conjunction with ABC Studios. You're right, Stanley. So it was ABC Studios that was in conjunction with Hellstrom. I remember seeing it at the end, which is where Loeb was kind of embedded. And yeah, it's bad. It's a bad series. Don't bother watching it. It'll frustrate you and just piss you off. That's all it'll do. So on to some happier news here. Lock and Key has been renewed for a third season at Netflix ahead of its second season release in 2021. We still don't know when it's releasing in 2021. We just know it's coming out, the second season. But yeah, the third season's already been renewed at Netflix, which is kind of rare. I mean, normally at this point in time, Netflix is like, you get 3 seasons, that's it, and then you're done. We want something new. Yeah. And I'm happy about that. Lock and Key is a good series, even though it's been like over a year now since that first one came out. I'm waiting for the second one to hit here fairly soon. Yeah. No, it hasn't been canceled, Stanley. It's Joe Hill. It's Stephen King's son, so of course it's gonna. You'll get an extra season out of it or two, because it's Stephen King's son. Because nepotism reigns in Hollywood as it normally does. That's why you got 2 seasons of Castle Rock instead of just the one that it deserved. What else do we have here? Oh yeah. So January 8th on Disney Plus is the start of something called Marvel Legends. So what is Marvel Legends, you ask? It's kind of Disney Plus's version of Who in the Hell Is, but for Marvel characters. And so the series is first it's gonna focus on fleshing out one Marvel character, one MCU character, I should say, per episode. And the first 2 episodes, excuse me, are about Vision and Scarlet Witch. Yeah. So you got the Vision and Scarlet Witch. They're going to be the first 2 episodes. Yeah. Speaking of nepotism, did anyone read JJ's son's? But no one wanted to read that piece of shit. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out what that noise was. And it's not something here in my house. It's okay. It's something outside. That's all it was. Yeah, no one no one wanted to read that piece of shit from JJ Abrams' son. Yeah, his 14-year-old son who wrote a Spider-Man story that everyone pretty much hated. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Apple Crow, I did get to the second season of Danger 5. And it's weird. And there's a lot more boobs in it than season 1 had no boobs, and season 2 actually has a lot more boobs in it, which I'm not against. But the series was a little bit wonky there, but it's still okay. Yeah. Apple Crow says, "Hell no! I turned it off when Henry said to the camera, 'Why are we thanking them?'" Which one are you talking about? You're talking about. I don't know which one you're talking about. So anyway, going back to this. Um, Speaking of Marvel and Marvel news, Kevin Feige has said that She-Hulk will be a half-hour legal comedy series. And for those of you who have followed me from another channel, you may have remembered that that was my suggestion from way back. I want to say it was about 4 years ago now. I was thinking about doing a TV series, what would make a really good TV series for Marvel. And I said She Hulk as a legal comedy series, as kind of like an Ally McBeal kind of thing, only with superheroes and that kind of stuff. And that was exactly kind of what I pitched. And I think Kevin Feige might have been listening on that one. And that's what She-Hulk is going to be. It's going to be a half-hour legal comedy series. And I'm okay with that, quite honestly. I could see that. I know it's already been done with Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. For those of you who have Adult Swim, it's up there. It's an older series. It's funny as hell, but it works. And I would love to see that, with She-Hulk. And the thing is, you can get around I know they're gonna have a bigger budget, of course, for this. It is Disney after all, but you can still get around this by and actually I'd written a script early on for a comic slash series back when I was in school, and we had to do this for a creative writing class. And it was a group of heroes. And the thing about my group of heroes was you never saw the action in all of this. You only heard about it. So you come into the series or the first episode or the episode after they just gotten back from doing something. And that was supposed to be the whole gimmick of my thing, was that you never got to see the action. You only heard about it secondhand kind of thing. And yes, I know it's kind of a little cliche and whatnot, but it was also to kind of save money on that. And it worked. It was funny too. Um, oh, you're talking about the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man one. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that he had actually Henry turned to the viewers. I didn't. Yeah. Apocro says if Phil Hartman was still with us, we need an unfrozen caveman lawyer. Yeah. Yeah, Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman was so good in so many things. I highly recommend, if you've never seen it before, So I Married an Axe Murderer. It's one of Mike Myers' early movies, and it kind of gets buried. Everyone kind of forgets about it. It's there, but Phil Hartman does a fantastic job as Vicky, the tour guide at Alcatraz, and who's relaying stories about what the prisoners used to do at Alcatraz, especially the machine gun killing. And I mean, it's one of those moments. He's only in it for maybe, I would say, 3-4 minutes tops. He steals the entire fucking movie just from that scene alone. He really does. Hollywood should listen to you more. I know, Penn. They should pay me too, is what they should do. But no, they don't. There's a lot of us comic book geeks out there that know what we're talking about, and we've read a lot of shit. Obviously, we've read a lot of this shit. We know where to go with this. We know how to set things up. Some of us even know how to manage things budget wise, where you can't do a huge action sequence like, having a lava creature pop out of the ground in the middle of Times Square or something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's ways around doing stuff like that. I would love to see a BPRD series, Apple Crow. I've talked about that too, and I don't think Dark Horse is up there yet with money. They are actually fairly conservative with their money, and I'm glad they're not like IDW, who's gotten themselves in such a deep hole that now they are. That's the reason why Winona Earp suffered so much, is because IDW was in the hole and they had to pay some of the production costs, and Dark Horse doesn't do that. So yeah, granted, Dark Horse doesn't have a lot of stuff out there, but they still are producing some movies and TV shows every now and then. Just on a BPRD series, which would be awesome. What else do I have here? Oh yeah, so we also know that there's an animated series coming out on Disney Plus called What If. It was supposed to go on Hulu originally, but now it's going to Disney Plus like it should be. One of the episodes is going to be a Black Panther episode, and it's actually voiced by Chadwick Boseman, and it's his final performance. So we find out this is his actual final performance that he ever did. It's the voice work for T'Challa and What If, and I'm actually looking forward to this series. What If was one of my favorite comics growing up in Marvel. It was one of those stories that it always took one of the Marvel mainstay stories and kind of twisted it a little bit and said, well, what if this happened? And then of course you get this totally weird shit that would happen as a result of it. Like one of the What If animated series stories is going to be, what if Peggy Carter was the one that got the super soldier serum and not Steve Rogers? And you're going to have that going on. uh, which is going to be interesting. Things like that, and I'm interested to see how they're going to do this. It should be nice, and I believe they're going to have Jeffrey Wright is supposed to be the Watcher who looks over all of this, and that was the whole thing about the What If series. It was always the Watcher, Uatu, who was looking over, and he was your narrator, if you will, and said, "Okay, well, this is what would happen in this universe," because he was talking about the multiverses, and this is what happened with the spinoff. And I kind of like that they've actually stuck with that. That's kind of a nice nod to those of us geeks out there who've been reading this stuff for 40 plus years. Um, yeah. Stanley Tweedle says, would like that too, but the last Hellboy flopped quite a bit. The last Hellboy was actually pretty damn good. It really was. And I think there's just a lot of people that really wanted Ron Perlman back for it. And I don't know. I mean, I know Ron says that, he wants to do a third one with Guillermo del Toro and still wants to do it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Guillermo del Toro is booked with like 50,000 different things attached to him right now, and Hellboy is not one of them, or Hellboy 3 is not one of them. The walking tiki mug. You're talking about this guy here, Modoc. Modoc has his own series too. I'm not looking forward to that one. Stanley Twiddle says the last Hellboy was a bit trash and some of the effects were bad. I'll give you this. The makeup effects on him were horrible. The makeup effects were really bad, but the story was actually pretty good and I liked it. I mean, it wasn't bad. I wanted more of it, to tell you the truth, especially the end scene where you see them, coming in, and I would like more of that. I wanted more of that. But the rest of it was actually pretty decent. Applecross says it was a mixed bag. There was a good movie in there, and it came across like it was butchered in the editing room. Possibly. I think there was maybe some studio interference. There's probably some studio interference, most likely. It's usually the case. So the final thing that I've got news-wise is that Furiosa is set for a June 23rd, 2023 release. That's right. We got stuff out into 2023 now at this point. Again, anything by George Miller, I'm going to go and watch. And especially if it's set in the Mad Max universe, I'm going to watch it. Furiosa was a good character. It is a great character. And it's a prequel. It is a prequel, by the way, this Furiosa movie that they're doing. It's a set in the Mad Max universe. And I'm okay with that. That it's done by George Miller is the most important thing. And of course, right now he's working on his 1,000 Years of Longing, I think is what it is. Yeah. Exactly, Stanley. If it's by George Miller, take my money. Warner Brothers just needs to greenlight fucking anything George Miller says he wants to do. He wants to do a Justice League movie, greenlight it. Let it happen. He wants to do Mad Max 15 through 18, let him do it. I like Tom Hardy as Max, even though he didn't have a big role in it in Fury Road, but I still liked him as Max. He wasn't bad. Yeah. Applecrow says, I'm all for more Mad Max movies. If you haven't played the Mad Max game for 2015, it's a hidden gem. I heard about it, but I've never played it. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I've got going on. Talking about 15 to 18, what happened to Avatar 2 through 5? So Avatars 2 through 5 are still filming right now, Stanley. Actually, I take that back. They're on a 2-week break for the holidays. So they're on a 2-week break right now. I just literally read about it this morning, and they're going to start resuming again next year, filming in January. So yes, they're still working on it. And what else is filming? Right now, the spinoff to Suicide Squad. God, and I can't remember which one it is. The John Cena spinoff series on HBO Max. That's actually filming right now too. How many decades are they filming now? I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous that they're doing, Avatars 2 through 5 back to back to back to back to back. I honestly, I don't need that. I never really wanted an Avatar. I never really wanted the first Avatar, to tell you the truth. I still don't follow you, Stanley. What you mean? Since when? How many decades are they? I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. Can you form it in a pictogram? Send out smoke signals. Applecrow says Avatar is slightly better than Gravity, and Gravity was fucking garbage. Yeah. Yeah. I still haven't watched what is it? The Midnight or Rising or whatever the fuck it is with George Clooney that just came out on Netflix. Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet. I will if I really feel down the dumps and just want to feel even further down the dumps. And then I also need to see Soul as well on Disney Plus. Midnight Sky. Thank you, Applecrow. That's the one. Midnight Sky. It's got a forgettable title. It really does. I just know that Midnight's in it, and I don't remember anything else about it. Pam Farm Girl says, I think they've been filming for 20 plus years. Really on Avatar? So, I don't know, Pen. I don't know if I'm going to do Is It Worth My Time Midnight Sky? I'll think about it. I really have to be in a certain mood. I mean, I know it's going to be a downer of a movie, and so I kind of have to prepare myself for those. I really don't like downer movies. So, contrary to popular belief. Stanley says the story of Avatar was so banal and unoriginal. Yeah, exactly. It was very unoriginal. It was a hodgepodge of other better movies. Applecrow says I finally watched Johnny Mnemonic last night and really liked it. Yeah, Johnny Mnemonic is one of my guilty pleasures. I believe I have it on DVD. I'm looking at my stacks of DVD, which are in my room now, and I think I have it still. Um, Yeah, Dolph Lundgren as the cyber priest in that one. Oh my god, that fucking just makes me laugh. And, Ice-T in that one too is yeah. There's just so many stupid things in there. Henry Rollins as a doctor, when he talks about Dr. Allcome, the code that whenever there's somebody crazy in the hospital or, something bad's happening that they page Dr. Allcome to everyone come to the certain place to yeah. Yes, I do prefer uppers, and Nancy Reagan's dead, by the way, Applecrow. Mhm. So just say yes. Penn Farm Girl says, kidding about Avatar, but it feels oh, okay. I thought they were filming for 20 years. They could have been. It's James Cameron after all. You never know. He could just have cameras around all these actors' apartments without them knowing about it, and he's been filming them for 20 years. He's gonna splice it all together. Kind of like a Bowfinger thing where he's just been filming them without their knowledge. Oh, Stanley says, I like that one too, but it was a long time ago. It was certainly campy. Uh, we were talking about the Keanu Reeves, yes, the Keanu Reeves cyberpunk movie. Correct. The one that was, I guess, loosely based on a William Gibson novel or short story or something like that, and was heads and tails better than anything Gibson has ever written. Yes, and I'm not a Gibson fan, by the way. I'm sorry, I can't get behind a Luddite writing technology books. And he's a self-professed Luddite. He does not use any technology to write his novels. He still uses an old manual typewriter and is afraid of technology. So yes, I stay away from him as much as possible. Apple Crow says he'll program an AI house to speak to him in Navi and talk about how great he is. Uh, yeah. God, that's such a great show. It really was. And of course, it has to get canceled by Hulu. Um, yeah. What else I have going on this week? Well, tomorrow is the aforementioned Is It Worth My Time? Wonder Woman 1984. That's right. That's where I talk about Wonder Woman 1984 and what I thought of it. If you haven't already guessed the beginning here. Um, Monday will be His Dark Materials, the season finale of His Dark Materials. Tuesday will be Is It Worth My Time? I still haven't figured out what I'm doing as of yet, but we'll find out. Wednesday will be The Expanse, episode 5. The Expanse, that's right. Remember, it's weekly. And Thursday and Friday, I'll be off because that's New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And then we come back around again to Saturday morning blast off for the new year. This is the last one of 2020, by the way. This is the last, Saturday morning blast off for 2020. And thank God this year is over with because this year sucked shit. It really did. It really needs to go away. Yeah. Last week's Expanse episode will be hard to top. I agree, Pen. I agree. Well, we get some of the fallout of what happened with this last episode. Yeah. Applegross, I both love and hate the weekly drops for the Expanse. I love it, actually. I like it being this way. It's just so much easier. Yes, I know it sucks that you can't just binge it and watch it all at once and get the next episode now. But at the same time, it lets you stop and think about the episode and talk about the episode rather than just burning right through it and then being half asleep for the next 3 of them that you're watching and not remembering a fucking thing. Yeah. Apple says, and damn, but if they didn't find a perfect actor for Philippe that looks like he's the son of, yeah, I know he does. I thought that he was Naomi, the actress who plays Naomi's son, real life son, because he's got the same nose as her. He's got the same, he looks like her. That's what it is. He looks like her completely. He doesn't look so much like the guy who plays Marco, but he looks exactly like Naomi. He really does. Yeah. Joker says Black Mirror special comedy of 2020 drops tomorrow. Oh, okay. Stanley Tweedle also says the weekly model is good for YouTube. Yeah, the weekly model is good for YouTubers. I mean, it does make us, it gives us some time to breathe. And so we don't have to do blocks of, you know, uh, that's kind of how Is It Worth My Time came into being. Is I was trying to do episode by episode reviews and people are like, just get on with it. Go on. We've already seen everything. Just get on with it. So I was like, all right, fuck you. I'm going to do the entire thing. Is it worth my time? And tell you, is that series worth it or not? Because it's already dropped completely. And that's pretty much how it came about. And was the Netflix model of dropping everything all at once. And it really sucks for a series because that means I have to burn through it before you guys burn through it. And then I have to put something together and make it sound coherent. And my stuff does not sound coherent, even the best of situations. It really doesn't. Applecross is funny because I felt he has Marcos's nose. He might have. He's got his nose. What's the quarantine version of water cooler shows? Chat roll shows? Possibly. It's possible. Stanley Tweedle says Netflix is the last binge holdout, it seems, or does Hulu also do complete drops? Hulu might not be around too much longer, Stanley, since it is owned by Disney. And I think Comcast is the only other owner of Hulu, and they're like a part owner. I think they only own like 30 or 40%, somewhere around there, with the option of Disney buying them out. So Disney can just buy them out and fold it up completely, which I believe is what's going to happen. I think that now that Disney Plus is taking off as big as it is, I think they're just going to fold Hulu straight into Disney Plus and just say fuck it. You know, as a Disney Plus account, they've already next year they're raising Disney Plus by $1 a month. I mean, it's going up to $8 a month versus $7 a month, which is fine. But yeah, it's worth it. It really is worth it. I actually just bought somebody a Christmas gift of a year's worth of Disney Plus before, of course, the price increase happened. And that's why I haven't heard from them in the last. Well, I bought it yesterday, and I haven't heard from them since. So I'm fairly sure that's what's happening. And you know who you are out there. Got to pay for all those new Star Wars shows, not just the new Star Wars shows, but also the new Marvel shows and the new Pixar shows. They've got 20. I'm counting up here. 15, 25, 36 new shows. They have 36 new shows that they're going to be having on Disney Plus. Yeah. Yeah. I added one more in there for the Book of Boba Fett, because the Book of Boba Fett was not actually added into that whole count of things. But yeah, they have 36 new shows. If you take a look at my last Saturday morning blast off, I kind of rattled through a good majority of them. There was some stuff that wasn't, of course, brought to light, like the Book of Boba Fett. And I'm sure there's some other stuff that's hidden around. My guess is they have 40. They probably went with an even number, 40. So there's probably like 4 more shows that we don't know about at the moment. Where's our damn Clone Wars holiday special? Who knows? Maybe Filoni has something in the works. I'm sure Jon Favreau really wants to do a live action holiday special. I'm almost certain of it. And by the way, I just got word that Disney's gallery that they did like last year for The Mandalorian has started on Disney Plus for The Mandalorian season 2. So yeah, they've started season 2 of the gallery, which if you've never seen season 1 of the gallery on Disney Plus, I highly recommend it. It's behind the scenes look of the making of The Mandalorian. It sounds dry and boring. It's not. It so complements The Mandalorian. I can't stress it enough. There is a great. It's pretty much the last 10 minutes of episode 2 where Dave Filoni talks about what Star Wars meant to him as a kid and other Star Wars fans, and it hits the nail right on the head to the point where I swear it'll bring tears to your eyes. It really will. Just how good it is. So Stanley Tweedle says, but how will they hide Handmaid's Tale from kids on Disney Plus? That's a good question. They'll probably have parental controls, that kind of stuff. So he finally can remember the name of the show. Oh well, yeah, Stanley, because you mentioned it. That's why. Someone mentioned it here. That's the only reason why I remembered it. Oh no, someone didn't mention it. I guess I did remember it. That's what happens. It's a lucid state, and all of a sudden it just clicked in the beam. Yeah. What do you want, man? I got like tons of shit rolling around up here in this noggin of mine. Trying to keep it all together and just pulling shit off the top of my head, which I do a good majority of the time, mind you. I'm not sitting here looking it up as we're talking. Obviously, because my hands are down here. Schrodinger's memory. That's it. Exactly. It's also to be followed by Heisenberg's uncertainty principle as well. So Yeah. So, with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the day. I got stuff I gotta do. I'm still in the midst of signing papers for getting rid of this place. And I've got to send off papers, get stuff notarized and sent off. And you know how hard it is to find a notary public open the day after Christmas? Surprisingly, not that hard, believe it or not. It really is not. I need a Heisenberg compensator. I do. I really do need a fucking Heisenberg compensator for this brain of mine. Um, that's a Star Trek reference for those of you out there who are playing the game along with us. Thank you, everybody who joined me tonight or today in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down here. Also, while you're down there, if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there and all the links to my social media and all the pages that I have there too. Apple Crow says, when I was a kid, I thought it was the Notar Republic. Notar Republic. Knights of the Notar Republic. Let us stamp that for you. We must be witnesses, though, to the signature. They just walk around with gigantic stamps all the time. And glasses. They have little glasses down below their nose. So they're, let us notarize that for you. That'll be 40 dinars. Oh, man. I'll be here all week. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to let you guys go for the day. The ones with the red stamp ink are the evil ones. Yes. Wait, they all have red ink. Uh-oh. All right. Thanks, everybody. Again, I will see you tomorrow for Is It Worth My Time? Wonder Woman 1984. Be sure to join me for that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody. So until tomorrow, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may not be asked back to direct Wonder Woman 3 because, it's not going to be released in theaters or some kind of thing like that. Who knows? So stay safe, be well, take care. And remember, wear that goddamn mask. Thanks, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a good rest of your day.